Goeiedag, good day, fellow South Africans and citizens of the world. And yes, I'm wearing my quality CIC, Commander-in-Chief, red beret. Everything for free, yep. And what are we talking about? We're talking about Julius Malema, the biggest loser who's walking the earth today, and the most devious person I think I have ever met. EFF leader Julius Malema likes to play the hero to the downtrodden, a voice for the poor and for petrol attendants and waiters. Luckily for him, it doesn't take a genius to realize that poverty in South Africa is an enduring legacy of our colonial and apartheid past. And of course, we have to blame that on Jan van Riebeck, don't we? It goes all the way back to 1652. Even though when the Boers and the British came through and to the black areas in KwaZulu-Natal, because they didn't occupy any other part of South Africa, they kind of settled them down and stopping them killing each other. Nor does it require great insights to realize that a party that positions itself as a friend of the poor and that capitalizes on their supposed envy of the rich has an even chance of cashing in at the elections, which is exactly what Malema does. That is what populism is about, hollow promises to gullible voters, as populists around the world trade in empty promises and rant against their respective political elites, draining the swamp. In South Africa, Malema makes his own inestimable contribution to making the world a hostile environment for common sense, and indeed for growth and upliftment he professes to want so badly. And this EFF quality hat is starting to itch because of the fleas, so it's got to go. Sorry, guys. Yuck. Ugh. It's taken a lot of courage to put that thing on again, I can tell you. Anyway. Of course, Malema is not alone in beating the populist drum. Until the ascension of Cyril Ramaphosa to the presidency, the ANC of Jacob Zuma flirted with notions of radical economic transformation, a message packaged in part in London by public relations firm Bell Pottinger. In Ramaphosa, South Africa now has a government that appears to grasp that growth and investment are wholly reliant on clean government, stability and policy certainty. I'm not so sure about that. Look no further than Eskom. This government is on its last legs, believe me. There remain elements in the ANC that have not yet dumped the radical economic transformation message and continue to push simplistic notions like taking land without compensation and nationalizing the Reserve Bank as one-off solutions to poverty. It is a sad fact that our politics is blighted by people whose professed concern for the poor sits uneasily with the bling that marks their personal lives. When Ramaphosa says 1 trillion rand was lost to graft in the Zuma years, it's fair to assume much of it was blown at malls, fashion shops and car dealerships. The notion that service to the people is to be rewarded by the big salaries and perks that fund a lavish lifestyle is entrenched. Hypocrisy is rampant. Bling rules. That said, there is something especially galling about Malema, for whom poverty is a currency in which he trades, all the while promising the waiters and petrol attendants a better deal in their own lifetimes. It must matter, surely, that while Malema profits from the fact of poverty, he himself is living high on the hog and seeming to benefit, if reports are to be believed, from the corruption, cronyism and tenderpreneurship he claims are in part responsible for keeping the poor poor. The truth is, Malema knows, as we do teams of investigators, that unlike the waiters and petrol attendants, his is not the wealth of a man simply enjoying the fruits of his labour. What labour? Apart from being an MP, how does one explain where Malema gets the money that keeps him in ostentatious la-la land? Hard to fathom. That is, until one combs through the VBS bank heist report or studies the reason for the financial collapse of the Limpopo provincial government several years ago to conclude that Malema and his EFF are primary beneficiaries of the very misfortune that provides the wealth. Last week, reports in the Sunday Times provided new details of a slush fund into which it appears VBS funds were paid. In part, it explains his searing hatred of Pravin Gordhan and those cleaning up after the Zuma years, in which he played a starring role. Malema makes much of his not talking to the Sunday Times, which he likes to portray as a stooge of white monopoly capital. In this case, though, he did respond to his questions at some length, albeit with his usual bluster and innuendo. Few will be convinced. This makes one wonder whether the contents of last week's report struck a nerve. There may be waiters and petrol attendants who believe Malema is a hero, but they will come to realize, hopefully not entirely at their own expense, that he is a political fraud. He fancies his red overalls are a symbol of the working class cred, whereas they are instead a camouflage for his dishonesty and grasping opportunism. If it's overalls he likes, wouldn't orange, the prison colour, be more appropriate colour for this bogus man of the people? If it's overalls he likes, orange is the colour that Julius Malema should be wearing behind bars. And let's hope that he is not a victim of that terrible thing called the slow puncture that so many white men are facing today in South African prisons. All right, guys, please remember to subscribe to be kept informed. Ring the bell for the updates. Please like this video. Please share this video. And above all, stay safe. Bye for now.